Okay, let's continue our in-class project. So currently you can see this view is a little bit ugly. So in a company, you have to do what the designer wants you to do. Like if they have a different button, they have a very beautiful button, or they have different styles. So you have to review their design. So as an engineer, you have to do follow the design exactly. So if the designer wants you to do a round corner button, so what we do? So in some application, when you click a button, you can see the reaction to your response to your click. So to do that, actually it's a lot of work to make your application beautiful. So I will show you how to make the button have a round corner and how to respond to users' click. Then go to this button. So if you want to locate the code for a view or for a button, you can right click it, then click go to XML. When you go to the button, we have to set a different background for this button. So before we set it, we have to build a style file for this button. So the quick question, so which folder I should put a style for a button?
Resources?
Yes, so you have to put all the view related to resources. Then, because it's not a picture, it just defines style for the button. Then we go to drawable, then create the other XML file, right click this folder, then new drawable resource file, then file name we give it button background bg. So this pop-up window is suggests you to ask you if you want to add this file to local repository. So when we submit our project to GitHub, so you have to mention local repository. So actually, I always add all the files to the repository. Then you can see green color. The green color means you push the file to local repository, but it didn't submit to remote repository. And in this file, we want to set a different style for the button. So one is when you push the button, then the other state is when you release the button. So it's called item. Then I want to put the three items. So when I want to input something, so it's use the IDE. You can, so the first one is a state pressed. You can just press input pressed, then choose the first one is true. Then go to drawable. Then use the auto suggestion, so it's very quick to type something. So there are totally 3 states for one button. The first one is pressed, then the following the focused, then pressed. So the press is, when the press is false, the press is true. These two different. So that means when you release when you press the button, so when you move your finger to the, actually when you move the finger to the button, it will show the style like following this file. And if you press the button, it will set the button style by following this file. And when you release the button, that's a normal style for the button. So we usually use pressed and focused state as use the same style. So we can delete the second one, just use pressed equal to false and pressed equal to true. So this background in the 2 other files, one is for released state and the other one is for the pressed state. So we go back to drawable, then create the other drawable resource file. It's called button background release. So you can see the red disappear. Then we need the other button background pressed. Then create the other drawable resource file called button background, then pressed. Okay, I also remember a quick way to create a file, like if I delete this file, so you don't have, you can see an arrow here. So it's command we can do that. So usually if you have an arrow, you can use control and return. I think it's control and return to solve it, but it cannot create a file. I will show you later how to autocorrect an arrow. Button background pressed. So okay, if we create a style for the pressed, we change the selector to shape. So inside the shape is to define a shape and background for the button. So use the corners and radius equal to 2 dp. Then pressed a solid color, only 10 dp. A solid means define a solid color for the button. So we use add color, Android color, orange light. So this color is for the pressed state. Then we copy all our things, then back to button released. I use the same radius for the corner, for the button corner, but we change to the other color. Let's call it orange dark. So the button pressed and the button released has the same shape, but it has a different color. So this two state was put in the background selector. So the selector is select the correct state for a button. So if we put this drawable file to the button, go back to active main, hollow orange light, change the background to, so because this file is inside the drawable folder, so if you want to use any file inside the drawable folder, you can use add drawable button background. Okay, after that.
Question. Which one did you just work on? The one in the left corner?
I will show you the logic after I show you the final. So that's a button. When you click it and release it, it shows a different color, but with the same shape. So that's a response to user's action. And the logic is, for the button, you use a resource file to set as the background. And inside the background, so there's a button background resource file, and it's a selector to select different style for different state. So for the press state, we use button released. Then for the pressed, for the released is a false is the released state, and for the press state equal to true, then we use the press state. So that's two file defines the shape and the solid color for a button. So any question? Okay. So, okay.
So release and press has the same.
So because release is equal to false, that means press is equal to false, that means you release it.
Yeah. No, I mean in the
So
they have the same code.
So the press is hollow orange light, and the release is dark. So that's why if we click the button, you can see different color.
Can you show the press next to
The press just different color with the released.
And you would do the same thing for the press.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The only difference is the color.
Yeah, all the different
I
color.
mean, as far as like the content, as far as like the corners and shit.
Yeah.
So if you want to change the shape size, so you can make it, when you click it, you can make it bigger or make it smaller. So that depends on the designer. And so we can also do, so because we only set a color for the button, but we can also set a picture for the button. Sorry, I forgot to send the picture. That's the.
Mine was blank and then
Yeah, mine was blank.
clicking shows like
Yours is blank?
Yeah, mine was blank. You have the file link?
Yeah, the file added.
Yeah. In fact, once I linked the file, is what made it go blank.
Oh. You're supposed to be working.
That's my issue.
So go to iCollege, download these two pictures, so I can show you how to make it like
Wait, before we do that,
this one.
mine's, it went blank.
Oh, yeah, mine too. Like, as soon as I did all of that, my buttons went blank.
You gotta do the release one too. So like if you do the release and the press, then you'll show.
If you do release and
You gotta do both. You gotta do both of them. So like just copy what you got in the
Oh, yeah.
and just change the color.
So if you follow me exactly the same thing, use the same code, it will show you the same style like me. But if you didn't show that, it's better to check which part you do it wrong. So that's why I want you always, all of you follow me in the class, because you can find out which part you are wrong. So I saw many students leave because I don't know why, but in my teaching style, I want everyone follow me so you can find your where part you didn't do it right. So if you I can, so it's easier for me to just show you lecture. So this is about, this state is about released, and this is body pressed. So you can just listen to me, then go back to your home and do it, but you don't know which part you do it wrong. Okay. Then download these two pictures. So I will show you how to put the picture in the button. And so after you download these two pictures, you can go to your project and go to MapMap. So they have a new picture format called MapMap, but usually the designer always give you a PNG file. But in the future, maybe they will use a new format because it's better than PNG. Then after you put the picture inside the MapMap, then we can go to Drawable to create the other style file, resource file. Then it's called button pick background. Then okay. So we go back to the button background, copy all the selector code, then go back to picture background and paste it here. So we don't need to type it again. We just need to change the drawable for released and pressed state. So it's different to use a file inside the drawable folder. If you want to use a picture inside the MapMap folder, so we have to take map, maybe also drawable. Okay, so if we, but I can't, no. What I put in here? MapMap. Okay, I can't. So in my IDE, it will not give a suggestion for MapMap. So in the MapMap, if you want to use a picture in the MapMap, you just need to type the whole name. Then it will find the file you use here. So download the two picture, put it in the MapMap folder, then count unselected. So after you set the two picture inside the background file, you can find the preview for the picture on the left side.
For the pictures, would you modify their size and shape and things like that, or is it taking exactly what they're?
So this picture actually when you in that inside. So first, it's a good question. In the map I show you in the former class, they have different size for different screen. So the design for the screen design is designed by the designer. So when they give the blueprint, they will give the accordingly size picture. So they will give you 4 picture, so you can use for different screen size. But in the future, I will show you how to do the 9. I think it's in the video launch mode. Let's show you 9 patch. I will show you how to do a 9 patch PNG. So in the 9 patch PNG, we'll scratch the picture to accordingly size of image view. But for a button, we usually use, so it's better to, for all the pictures, for the all the PNG file, it's better to use 9 patch file because it scratches picture accordingly. So the upper picture is a normal picture, but the lower picture is a 9 PNG picture. So that's a difference. And usually, if you use exactly the picture given by the designer, it can fit in the button. So they have different style for a picture inside an image view or in a button. So I will show you later. But currently, I just want to start a very simple application.
How do you get that? I'm having trouble getting the contact icon to the bitmap.
So the IDE currently have a bug is if you want to use something in the picture inside the map, you have to tap it manually. So if you put the picture inside the map, then you have to tap all the words manually. Then you can find the file.
So we drag it.
We drag the
Yeah, do you drag it? Like,
Yeah, you can drag it to this folder.
because it didn't drag.
Or you can just copy paste.
Yeah, copy paste it
Copy,
also.
paste.
Thank you.
My button just turned on.
So let's run our project.
This is where it's gonna copy paste.
Is my sister
Okay, so that's the picture background for a button. Then we go back to main, activate main, then find the button. So that's the right button. So we set it to add drawable button. It's called button background, button picture. Oh, sorry. Button picture background. Come on, drawable.
See, that's the confusion. What you have to change the confusion.
So after we set the background for the button, you can see if you click the button, it shows different picture. So that's a response